Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to understand what is the importance of this practice and what are the benefits we can gain to this conventional life, and at the same time, how we can develop that conventional life, and out of that development, how we gain the spiritual success. So in this conventional life, we have to understand there are certain things fundamentally we can't resist. Even though we accept it is not real. So the conventional life mostly build up upon the concept. So when it comes to the concept, is very different than the reality. So Dharma or this practice deeply take us to the very reality. And end of the day yourself, you always merge with the reality. But the thing is, this concept, what we hold, sometimes we like to make it as real. So in that way, we develop a kind of like an illusion. So what is happening mostly, whatever the concept, that the concept come out of our ideas, thoughts, culture, tradition, believing system, informations, we can develop any concept. Even people can build up a very brand new concept. And once the concept start to believe, what happens, we start to inject that concept to reality. And then we hope our reality should bring that whatever the concept that we injected to it. And then we hope that should be our reality. But it is not like that. And so always we have to remember, whatever we develop in our mind as thoughts has no limits. But still, we take it as the true nature, and then it creates a kind of like a illusion around us. And once we caught up on that, it is very difficult to get out of it. So there are certain things that we experience in this conventional life, and those came out of very fundamental elements. Those belong to that elements. But the thing is, in conventionally, sometimes we take it as the truth. So one is, there are few things. So conventionally, of course, it is truth. We have to accept it. But fundamentally, deeply, when it comes to ultimate truth, it doesn't make any sense. So what are those? So one of the thing is the concept about the place, like the country, birthplace. So as your village, state, country, and sometimes you develop boundaries, and out of that boundary, so it is a concept, and out of that boundaries, you believe it should be like this, and then what happens? You are willing to do anything, even you are willing to die for that. What's the point? It's not belong to anybody. You came here naked with the empty hand, and then you believe this is my country, and then you're going to die one day, and maybe when you die, you're not going to die the same place that you born, and but during while you are living, sometimes you create many kind of drama, you create many kind of enemies, you give a hard time to other people. Of course, to maintain our conventional life, we need certain kind of rules and regulations, and we need limits, we need boundaries, but you have to remember it is a concept. It is not the ultimate reality. But sometimes when it comes to believing this is the place as a kind of like a very ultimate truth, sometimes people, very good friends, become enemies, because you are not belong to my place. You are not belong to my village, my city, my state, my country. You are a different person. And sometimes, like when it comes to marriages, if someone wants to marriage from a different place, maybe sometimes they say, don't get into any affair with that country, this people, that people. So like that, we divide this very humanity related to the country or the village or the state or the place. But it is a concept. That concept is good to have a life, to develop a comfort around us. But other than that, don't go crazy for that. Don't try to develop any kind of unnecessary, unwholesome actions out of that concept, because the country is going to be there, and one day you have to go. When the day comes for you to go, you can't take anything. Only thing you can take with you, whatever the wholesome or unwholesome actions you perform. So then be very careful. Another one is the one example I take, and so and we can apply it to this everything. So the breathing, our very primary mental object is observing the breathing. So as you know, the very fundamental essence of this life is breathing. The most important thing in our life is breathing. So then wherever you go, if you go country to country, you're not going to get a different inhalation or exhalation. You get the same inhalation, exhalation in any country. So that is enough for you to understand. Fundamentally, this country mean it is a concept. So then you have to remember not to go crazy believing it's something like that. So then wherever you go, you will observe the inhalation, exhalation. Another one is time. So that also a concept, conventionally, of course, it look like real, but when it comes to time, the past or the future, so whatever we dealing in the moment, always you have to remember, you have only one timeline. So that is your present moment. You will never going to pull back your history, or you will never jump to your future. Only thing you have your present moment. So whatever you experience as past or the future, that both you experience only in the present moment. So then always remember, don't go crazy thinking, oh, in the past I used to do this, I used to do that, or don't go crazy thinking about, oh, in the future I'm going to do this or that. Be aware, it is a concept. Nothing wrong with that. But only thing you have to remember, the very reality is the very present moment. So then apply the same inhalation, exhalation. You will never experience any past or the future inhalation or exhalation. As I mentioned, fundamentally, the very essence of our life is inhalation, exhalation. So you always experience only the present moment of inhalation, exhalation. So that is that is what you have to remember. And then the next concept that we build up, the ownership. I own this, I own that. So like that, we own many things around. But when it comes to the very reality, so whatever you own, gather everything around, and then you try to sleep with that everything, hold it to you. You're not going to get sleep. So even that, like whatever the very valuable jewelries, gold, gems, so whatever you have, when you go to sleep, most of time, you take it off. See, just imagine. But in daytime, in our dreams, that we hold this everything and believe this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Nothing wrong when it comes to the conventional life. Of course, we have to have things. But fundamentally, you have to remember, as a matured human being, it is just a concept. And don't go crazy for so whatever you own, because of that, never try to get into any unwholesome action. Because whatever the unprofitable skills that you develop out of your unwholesome actions create demerits. And it's going to come behind you like the shadow never leave your body. So then always, you deal with the world. You never run away from the world. You never hate it. You never reject it. You never withdraw from the world. But remember, you maintain. You manage the world. You manage the things around you, but there is no ownership. So you have to remember that. Even though you can put a name on something, but still you have to remember. So by the time this all going to go. Another one is that concept of age. So that also a concept when it comes to yourself, because all the time you experience the present moment. So when your inhalation, exhalation fundamentally has no age. When you inhale or exhale, how old it is. Whatever the thoughts come to you in the moment, whatever sensation arise you, whatever the feelings arise you, how old it is. You experience it only in the present moment. Of course, we put a date and we follow the time. So conventionally, we need that. So nothing wrong that we accept it. But you have to remember, fundamentally, there is no age. Another one is gender. So conventional level, of course, male, female, you can recognize. But when it comes to inhalation, exhalation, is it female or male or female? Because that's very fundamental level. When it comes to the very recognition, is it male or female? So that's why in the conventional life, we build up everything according to this gender-based mindset. But when it comes to the Dharma, it's nothing to do with the gender. So when it comes to the reality, it's nothing to do with the gender. When it comes to the cause and effect, oh, you are a male, because of that, your cause and effect difference, or you are a female, because of that, your cause and effect difference. It's not like that. We all experience the same. Fundamentally, we all belong to the same Dharma, same nature. So when it comes to the gender, you don't need to go crazy that much about holding to that gender. Sometimes people and so strongly criticize other genders. So whatever, male or female. But when it comes to liberation, when it comes to Nibbana, when it comes to enlightenment, it's nothing to do with the gender. It is about your awareness. Just imagine whatever the gender that you hold, if you don't have the awareness, what you can do out of that gender? It's nothing. So then don't go crazy because of the gender. It's a concept. Of course, there are things that you can see, but it is not the ultimate. It's not belong to this ultimacy. So that's why while you are there, and according to each and every environment, you accept it. You follow it. Rather than taking it as the ultimate reality. Because sometimes, look, there are places, even for a restroom, male and female. So then you follow that. But how about when it comes to the common bathroom? Then both use it. Whoever comes first, go inside. So then how about that place? We do the same thing. But still, when it comes to the conventional life, of course, we need that. We need to follow that. But always remember, never get into unwholesome action because of the gender. Never get into unprofitable thoughts like greed, hatred, because of this concept. So always you have to remember, it is not the ultimate truth. And the next one is self-image. So that also a concept. Of course, that you have idea, this is me, I am. So like that you build up. So from where you build up it? That mostly you build up things that whatever that you believed about you, whatever the things that you thought about you, but ask about you from someone else. If that person really honest, and that person maybe tell about you unbelievable things. You never heard about that, maybe. And you never believe that you are like that. We all the same sometimes. But do I believe, oh, I am like this? So that believing is not the ultimate. But the thing is, out of this self-image, we do a lot of unwholesome actions. One of the major disadvantage when you have this self-image is it make you very limited person. Your own, remember that, your own self-image make you a very limited person. So then if you are capable to get out of your own self-image, that is where you start to grow. So then don't caught up on this concept. We follow that, we accept things, but still we have to remember those things not going to be permanent. So then what is really exist in the world? If those are concept, what is really exist? Fundamentally, there are four things. So what are those? One is physical elements. So these material elements. So when it comes to that material elements, mainly heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. Four elements. So out of these four elements, this everything arises. All the concept came out of these four elements. And then out of that four elements, another four things arise: the color, taste, smell, and the energy. So once these 8 elements come together, all the physical material things start to manifest. And even these 8 elements or the 4 elements never exist itself. It always combines with things. That's why in the fundamental level, in this material world, you cannot find anything exist itself. Any material things always depend from something. Look around you, whatever you have. So that is the reality. So out of these 4 elements, out of these physical elements, then everything arises. And once it arises as something, if you believe that something as the reality, no. So that's why it's kind of like you go beyond the layer. Another one is the reality is the consciousness. So it's real that whatever that you experience, that experiencer is not an illusion. Then why we have to do these things? The experiencer is real. So otherwise, how it become again and again and again? So then, but that reality also came out of many things, even that also not going to exist itself. That's why there is no fundamentally unchangeable permanent Atma or the self. Of course, there is a self. So that means, of course, there is a consciousness, but that consciousness is not a unchangeable, permanent, very concrete, solid consciousness. So if you look, how you know that? Look at your own consciousness. It always changes. So out of that change, the recognition arises. So then, even though there is a consciousness, you have to remember that also changes. So that's why fundamentally, you can't hold it to your own recognition. So the third one is mental factors. So when it comes to mental factors, greed, hatred, delusion, jealousy, anger, so these kind of things. And loving kindness, generosity, compassion, wisdom, those are things. So those are all these mental factors. This is the important one. Remember this, any thought never going to arise independently itself. There is no greed going to arise in you with only one thought. There is no anger going to arise in you only with single one thought. There is jealousy never going to arise in you with one single thought. Ignorance never going to arise in you with one single thought. Always when it comes to even the loving kindness, never going to arise in you with one single thought. Compassion, the same. Generosity, the same. Wisdom, the same. It's always arise as a group of thoughts, bunch of thoughts. It is real, but even though it is real, you have to remember that anything, the physical elements, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, and then out of that, the very first other four things arise, the color, taste, smell, energy. So then out of this all, other everything comes. And the consciousness also not independent itself, permanent, concrete, always change. And the mental factors always change, and it also not going to arise itself. It always combine with something, Those are the three that ultimacies that we have within us. And there is another one, the fourth one called the Nibbana. So it's available, it is there, it is in you. Right now, right here, the Nibbana in you. But the thing is, it covered by the mental factors, consciousness, that means the very knowing, that whatever this knowing behavior, and other thing is the physical elements. So if you look very carefully, so then how you can access to this Nibbana or the enlightenment? Just take a thought and only practice point of view, just think a little bit. If as we know this, any mental, any physical elements not permanent. So if it is not permanent and it is not independent, unchangeable, concrete element. So that's mean fundamentally all physical elements itself has no structure. Itself doesn't have a structure. It gains a form when it combines with something. So then fundamentally it's empty. So if you are capable to access to that emptiness, rather than hold it to any physical name or form, so whatever exists around you, even though you see it deeply mentally, if you are capable to access to that emptiness, you withdraw from that physical world. And then when it comes to the consciousness, the very knowing part, so there is no fundamentally unchangeable, concrete, permanent consciousness. So that means the consciousness also always changing, and change according to the perception and according to the environment. So that means deeply, it also doesn't have a structure, means it also deeply empty. Because it's always changing, and itself it cannot exist, it always needs something. And the mental factors, so when it comes to mental factors, so whatever the greed, hatred, or the delusion, loving kindness, compassion, generosity, or the wisdom, this all, wisdom also included, that all not one single fundamental elements. Those are factors, those are combination of thoughts. So that means if you are, as example, the greed, if you are capable to separate the thoughts, there is no such a thing that you can experience as greed. When there is anger come, there are many thoughts come and empower that anger. But if you are capable to release that thoughts, and if you are understand that it's the combination of thoughts, in that very moment, fundamentally, there is no anger. Hatred is the same. Jealousy the same. And when it comes to the compassion, the same. Compassion also combination of thoughts. There is no such a single one thought called compassion. It is not going to arise in you like that. There are many bunch of thoughts going to come together, manifest that. And then the wisdom the same. So whatever that you recognize, whatever you understand as wisdom, whatever in the moment, very present moment, you recognize this whole. It's not a one single thought. It's a combination of thoughts. So then just imagine, in case if you are capable to access to that moment of combination and know that and separate that thoughts, in that very level, mental factors become neutral. Consciousness become neutral. And even though around you, these physical things exist, your mind doesn't create a name or form out of that physical structure. So that means the mind start to release from the name and form. And that is where you experience the Nibbana. So it is there within you. And that is kind of like the ultimacy, and the reality is there, but we can't experience it because our mind always interferes with the concept. So then when it comes to meditation, what we always in the very first level try to slow down the mind, bring it to the one point, and develop a discipline to be in one place. Because in that way, we strengthen our awareness, we strengthen our mind. And so once the mind capable to to be in the moment. So that means go with the consciousness, go with the awareness, and your recognition becomes sharp. So once the recognition becomes sharp and you are capable to recognize, because see this, all the deeper level, these physical elements, deeper level, the consciousness, the deeper level mental factors, it's mentally you can recognize. So once you are capable to get into that deeper level, that you see this all moment by moment experience. And that is where, even though in the conventional level, you are capable to experience this all and accept this all, but mentally you have become free. So on the surface level, the whatever the current is, and like as example, when it comes to the ocean, on the surface level, it's different kind of waves that we can see. But underneath the water, the current is the same water, and it's the same current. So like that, this all the concept arise, many concept can arise, and future many concept going to be in the world, and people will believe that, people will follow that. If you keep follow the concept, always remember, you become part of that concept. So concept will take you to another concept. That is the meaning of the samsara. But if you take the path, go towards the ultimacy, and you're going to end up being settled down with the nibbana. Why? Because the deeper level, with the ultimacies, this everything hold by the nibbana. But conventionally, everything hold by the concept. If you go with the concept, you become just a concept. Like when we look at the human history, how many people used to live here? And the most of life, just a concept. So don't be a concept. Then get into yourself. Be real. How you can be real? Only thing is, you have to strengthen your awareness. So that's why we keep practice little by little every day. So when it comes to practice, always you have to remember, give your best to that. And little by little, gain the ability to go deeper. And always remember, never allow your practice to become a concept. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck get straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself. And say, Supateva, oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. So when the inhalation, exhalations happen, recognize it as it is. Do nothing extra. So bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Please, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.